The Muny ended the summer with a terrific production of Oklahoma. It's a theatrical truism that every production of a show is different. Indeed, every performance is different. But this production of Oklahoma was even more different than usual. Oklahoma was known from its opening in 1943 as something different from most musicals. Musicals did not usually feature country folk singing about cows and chickens and surreys with a fringe on top. They rarely integrated song and story and dance as tightly as this one did, and they didn't drop a ballet into the show to end the second act. Agnes DeMille choreographed the original Oklahoma. Her background was in ballet, but so successful was her work on this Broadway musical that every production of Oklahoma that I've seen has based its choreography, as much as it was able, on DeMille's work. Not the Muny's latest Oklahoma. This production used the choreography Susan Stroman created for a London production in 1998. The dances fall in the same places as they always have, and they express the feelings and energy of the same characters and tell the same story. So you can't help but notice some echoes of DeMille, but the choreography is Stroman's. It has her distinctive style that made Broadway hits of shows like Contact, Crazy for You, Big, and The Producers. Her style was there from the first number, with Will Parker and his cowpoke buddies singing and dancing about their adventures in Kansas City, incorporating moves from the popular dances of the period, as well as the ways men move who spend their time on horseback and striding over rough ground. I found most impressive the number that opened the second act. Everyone for miles around is gathered for a big party and dance, and the young women have brought box lunches to be auctioned off to raise money for the new schoolhouse. Director Rob Ruggiero and scenic designer Michael Schweikart, both doing splendid work throughout the show, placed this number at the site of the new schoolhouse, and some of the men raised the frame of one wall as the number began. The stage was packed with people. The musical number is The Farmer and the Cowman Should Be Friends, but they aren't. They both want the same land for planting or for grazing. So Aunt Eller, in charge of the auction, down-to-earth, no-nonsense, take-charge Beth Level, made them stop fighting and dance. The dance was amazing. It swirled all over the stage in eddies and flows that would come together and separate, order emerging from chaos and spinning back into chaos. How Stroman kept track of all this, I can't conceive. Credit also must go to Ginger Thatcher, who restaged the choreography at the Muny for a stage no doubt larger than the one it was originally created for. Stroman displayed her flair for the dramatic in the Curly and Judd conflict in the ballet of Laurie's Dream, though I didn't find her dance hall women as sexually threatening as I have DeMille's. The Stroman choreography raises for me an interesting question about the integrity of a musical. I think we'd agree that if you took away Richard Rodgers' music or Oscar Hammerstein II's lyrics and book, you'd no longer have the musical Oklahoma. Is DeMille's choreography not so integral to the true Oklahoma? Again, I think most would agree that Jerome Robbins' choreography is essential to West Side Story. If you change it as much as Stroman has DeMille's, many of us would say you no longer have West Side Story. Perhaps the answer to the true essential musical varies with every musical, and probably I'm just playing mind games and what matters is creating a good show, which the Muny's Oklahoma certainly was. Another of Stroman's innovations that I liked very much was to change the DeMille practice of substituting dancers for Laurie and Curly in the Dream Ballet. Musical theater performers today are trained to be triple threats. You can't do a chorus line if you can't sing and act and dance. The Muny's Laurie, Christine Corney Smith, has been a principal dancer with the Dallas Metropolitan Ballet, and her dancing Dream Laurie was lovely. So was her singing. And she and Ben Davis, the Curly, made their bantering in the opening scene, which often leaves me making excuses for it, quite convincing. The sometimes revolutionary Oklahoma does trail remnants of the vaudeville origins of musicals, especially in the triangle of Will Parker, Ado Annie, and Allie Hackham, played with comic brio by Clyde Alvis, Jenny Barber, and Nahal Joshi. In the show's other romantic triangle, Judd Fry, explored in depth by Alexander Gemignani, is the strangest figure. His longing, lust is only a part of it, his longing for female companionship is painfully palpable, as is his total cluelessness of any way to gain it. Laurie finds him scary, and so do we. Yet Rodgers and Hammerstein managed to enlist our sympathy with his lonely room number. The late Martin Pakledinez, whose costumes we've often seen at Opera Theater, gave high style to the women's cotton print dresses and the men's work clothes, with Amy Clark coordinating. John Lasseter's lighting was especially evocative in the Dream Ballet, backed by Rob Denton's video design, and musical director Kevin Stites pulled it all together from the pit. Too bad it was only 1 week.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And you mentioned how unusually convincing you found the opening scene to be, and I felt the same way about the trial at the end.
Yes, that too. Well, but let's hear some of Rodgers and Hammerstein's music now.